My name is Emily Johnson. My mother is the wife of the gang boss of the Johnson Group. She's always kind, and I've never seen her angry. At first glance, she just seems like a normal housewife. Nobody would guess she's married to a gangster. While shopping with my mom, I accidentally bumped shoulders with a gangster, who then picked a fight with me.
Hey, that hurts.
The
Can't you see you bumped into him?
No, sorry.
What happened?
I bumped into him.
I'm sorry about that.
Who are you? Her mother?
Yes, I'm her mother.
Well then, you should teach her how to walk without bumping into people.
Yes, you're right. I apologize.
My mother looked truly sorry as she bowed her head. Of course, I bowed too, but I wasn't convinced. After all, although it's true we bumped into each other, it wasn't entirely my fault. The other person wasn't paying attention either, so I thought it was a mutual fault. And yet, why does my mother has to be so subservient? Seeing her apologizing so profusely brought such thoughts to mind. However, the person I bumped into was clearly a gangster. So we are in a situation where we have to bow our heads to the point of appearing self-deprecating, huh? That's why I was bowing too.
Hey, you think just bowing your head is gonna cut it?
No, of course not, but
Look here, you bumped into me. That hurts a ton. Means I could have a broken bone.
There's no way a girl bumping into him would break his bones. If that were true, walking outside would be dangerous.
I'm very sorry. But saying that your bones are broken after bumping into a girl, that's an exaggeration.
What?
If you're that fragile from a bump by a girl, you shouldn't be walking outside. Otherwise, it might be more than just broken bones.
What? My mom is saying this. My always kind mom, who never talks back, was talking back to a gangster, and I wondered what got into her. Of course, I was glad she did.
Shut up. Whether I walk outside or dive into the sea, that's my business.
Well, if you're walking, bumping into people happens, right? Claiming a broken bone sounds like a scam to me.
Who are you calling a scammer?
Please don't yell. Yelling doesn't solve anything. Or do you have a condition where you can't talk without yelling?
What? Who's got a condition?
So, can we just end it here? My daughter may have been careless, but I think you were too.
Why am I careless?
Someone who breaks bones by bumping into people shouldn't be bumping into anyone.
Are you mocking me?
Mocking? Absolutely not.
How come the person who got bumped has to hear this? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, her. Your parenting must be awful.
Maybe so.
I'm telling you I might have a broken bone. There's a way to apologize, you know.
Apologizing. Huh? Sorry, my bad. I apologize. What else is there?
That's what I'm saying. There's another way to do it. It's called sincerity.
Sincerity. Huh?
My mother seemed to be thinking but then reached into her bag. Seeing this, the two gangster-looking men smirked. So, they wanted something tangible.
Here, take this.
But what my mother handed over was a soda we just bought from a vending machine.
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Saying that, the man raised his supposedly injured arm.
No, look at that. Supposedly with a broken bone, yet moving so lively. Good to know it's not broken.
No, it's broken, but I'm tough.
That's impossible. No matter how tough you are, you can't do that with a broken bone.
That's amazing. Well, here you go.
I don't need that.
Really? This soda is quite delicious, though.
Hey, lady. Do you even understand what sincerity means?
Not that I don't understand, but
My mother, evading smoothly, seemed different from the mom I knew. Surely, the mother I know would have been apologizing profusely by now. Yet, today's mother was different. But isn't this situation dangerous?
What a clueless old lady. Your kid was walking around not paying attention, and that's why this happened. So, there's gotta be a proper way to apologize for this. If you don't get it together, you're gonna end up regretting it.
end up regretting it. I wonder what kind of regret that would be.
What's with this lady? Talking to you is pointless. Hey, you, the daughter, show me some sincerity.
What?
Come over here.
No way, Mom.
Please, don't be rough with my child. That would be troublesome.
Then show some sincerity.
Then, my mother became serious and sat down in the middle of the street, kneeling. Mom?
I'm so sorry.
And she bowed deeply. Mom, this is the sidewalk. However, the gangsters started kicking my mother.
Hey, lady, bow your head deeper. Don't you know how to apologize properly? Like this, see?
They put their shoes on my mother's head, pushing down. Pressed by their force, my mother's head was pushed down onto the ground. Passers-by stopped, seeing what was happening, but upon realizing my mother was being harassed by gangsters, nobody spoke up. I screamed for help in my heart, but my voice reached no one.
Hey, old lady, apologizing means, rubbing your head on the ground like this.
One said, and then another kicked my mother in the back.
No compensation, huh? We're the Smith Group, lady, top of the world. Listen here. Since your kid bumped into us, you owe us $10,000 in damages.
Seeing my mother not say anything further, they must have thought it was okay to do whatever they wanted. The two thugs kicked and insulted her even more.
This is what happens when you mess with the Smith Group. Serves you right. Listen, $10,000. It's your Brett's fault for bumping into us, so pay up. If you can't, we'll take your daughter instead.
At that moment, a chuckling sound came from my mother. Mom.
What's up, old lady? Has your brain finally snapped?
You know who I am if you're in the same line of work?
While being kicked by the gangsters, my mother said this without changing her posture. The way she spoke made the two back off, step by step, until they saw my mother's face as she stood up.
Nah, you are.
Got it?
What? You know this old lady? Idiot. Don't call her an old lady. You were calling her that just a second ago.
Yeah,
but not anymore. I don't get it. This woman is Mrs. Johnson, wife of the Johnson Group leader. So what? She's a wife, meaning she's a woman. I've never been scared of a woman. Don't freak out, man. I get it if you're scared of the leader, but come on, she's just his wife. No joke, I'm out. You have no idea how serious this is.
After saying that, the man ran away. The one left behind seemed confused about what there was to be afraid of but decided to leave anyway.
He ran away.
Mom.
Such small fry. And now my hair's all dirty because they stepped on it. Let's finish shopping and head home. I want to wash my hair.
My mother said this as if nothing had happened.
Hey, wait up. Why are you hurrying so much? Shut up. I can't deal with you. What's the big deal? She's just an old lady. Because you panicked, we missed out on $10,000. It's not just about $10,000. If we take it, it'll end up costing $100,000. Why would that happen? Don't be a coward. Do you really not understand?
Finally stopping to catch his breath, he started to explain.
How would I know? Suddenly saying you're out. That's Johnson's wife. I heard that already. If it's Johnson's wife, she used to be the leader of the Red Ladies. Any group has a leader. That's not a big deal. Plus, look at her age. She must have been active decades ago. You don't get a damn thing. That wife, Johnson, was absolutely head over heels for her. Spent 10 years wooing her until she finally fell for him. Going against her means going against Johnson. If you want to live, you better stay away from that wife. I'm not convinced. What's there to be unconvinced about? So, what's so scary about a leader from decades ago? It's not her that's scary, it's Johnson. Sure, Johnson is bad news, but she's just a woman. We're men. We can overpower her if we have to. If we don't want Johnson to find out, we just have to send her to the other world. Being scared over this, you're really a coward. If you think so, do it yourself. I don't want to be dragged into this. Fine, I get it. Then I'll make you see it's not a big deal. What do you mean? I'll prove it. Stop with the stupid stuff. You'll really end up dead. What's the big deal about sending one woman to the other world? Just watch.
Laughing, the man walked away from the scene. A few days later, when my mother was out shopping by herself, the gangster from the other day showed up in front of her.
Hey, old lady.
Oh, isn't this the Smith Group punk from the other day?
Who are you calling a punk?
Got any business with me?
I've got business. That's why I'm here.
Acting all high and mighty, aren't you?
I found out you're Johnson's beloved wife.
Is that so? Good for you. You came all this way just to tell me that?
Like hell I did.
Then what's it about? I'm a busy housewife, you know. I've got lots to do. So hurry up and spit it out.
I've come to take you down.
Oh, after my ex, are you? Quite the peculiar taste you have, aiming for me at this age. Would have made sense decades ago, but now?
What are you babbling about?
Sure. It would make sense if it was during my Red Ladies leader days. Now, I'm just a housewife. Yet, you aim for me. I must not be too washed up, huh?
Cut the crap. If I take you down, maybe I can defeat Johnson.
Maybe isn't very convincing. Besides, if you take me down, Johnson wouldn't stand for it.
Ever heard of dead men tell no tales? If I take you out, you won't be able to speak a word. Then, even Johnson, having lost his wife, will weaken.
I see. Underestimated, aren't I? My man won't weaken over something like this. If he heard about it, he'd burst out laughing.
You can say that now, but not for long. I'll make you realize you're just a woman.
Is that so? Then, there's no choice but to do it. Here. If you want to show the passersby how you lose to a woman, I won't stop you.
Who's going to lose?
With that, the man lunged at my mother. But at that moment, my mother was concerned about the eggs she just bought. So, she moved away to place her shopping bag at the edge of the sidewalk. The man, not expecting such an action, lost his balance due to the centrifugal force of his swing.
Oh dear. What happened?
Damn it. Making a fool out of me.
It's nothing personal. It'd be a waste if the eggs broke, right? I just bought them.
Shut up. Take this.
As he shouted and threw another punch, my mother quickly dodged and kicked the man in the back. Because of that, the man fell face first onto the sidewalk.
Still want to continue? I may have been a leader decades ago, but I'm not so weak as to lose to you. What will it be? Continue to embarrass yourself in front of everyone? Damn it. Remember this.
The man ran off after that. My mother, dusting herself off, picked up her shopping bag with the eggs inside. The onlookers gave a round of applause. Triumphant, my mother came home in high spirits, while the man was furious. He hadn't expected to lose to my mother and was incredibly frustrated.
What's with that, Bruce? Shut up.
Did you get into a fight?
It wasn't a fight.
Don't tell me. You went after Johnson's wife. I told you, didn't I? Leave that woman alone. Only a fool would attack her.
Shut up. I just underestimated her a bit.
Saying that, the man fled the scene. But his friends were already laughing at him. Frustrated, he felt he had to prove himself.
Damn it, she made a fool of me. I can't let it end like this. Damn, what should I do? I definitely have to take her down.
After much thought, it seems the man came up with an outrageous idea.
Ha 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 ha. I've got the perfect plan now. This time, I'll definitely get the better of her.
Unaware of his plan, I was walking home from school with my friends as usual. Then, a man appeared in front of me. That was the gangster who claimed I bumped into him the other day. What do you want? I didn't bump into you, so there's no way your bone is broken.
It's not my bone that's broken.
What about a broken bone? Well, the other day.
Hey, no need for chit-chatting. More importantly, I've got business with you.
I don't have any business with you, so I'm leaving.
Wait a minute. I have something for you.
What? Do you know him? We're not acquaintances.
Yes, we are. We met the other day. So, come with me without worrying.
No, thank you. I can't be reassured.
Shut up. Just come with me.
No one would follow you after being told that. If I did, who knows what would you do to me? Besides, you attacked my mother just a short while ago, didn't you?
How do you know that?
My mother told me that. I also heard that she defeated you in the end.
Shut up. I'll show you I'm stronger, so just come with me.
No way. I resisted, but ultimately, it's just a man and a woman. There was no chance for me. In the end, my arm was grabbed and I was dragged away. No matter how much I resisted, I couldn't shake off his grip. Seeing this, my friend realized something was terribly wrong and called my mother. My mother, who had my friend's number saved, was surprised to receive a call from her, as it was unusual. Immediately answering the call, she heard the urgent voice of my friend.
Is this Emily's mom? Emily was taken away by a gangster-looking guy just now.
Hearing this, my mother quickly figured it was one of the Smith gang's thugs. Thanking her, she immediately called my father. Though my father said he would come to help right away, my mother couldn't just wait and do nothing. Activating my smartphone's GPS, my mother jumped into the car.
Hang on, Emily, I'm coming to save you. Wait for me.
Driving for a while, she arrived at the location indicated by the GPS. It was a dilapidated shack, seemingly abandoned and unlikely to be visited by anyone.
This is it.
My mother was about to enter when suddenly, a message popped up on her line. It was sent from my phone. Rushed, she opened it to find, if you value your daughter's life, bring $300,000. The location is not here but somewhere else. He even had the audacity to specify a time. And, until then, your daughter is mine, it said, with a picture of me, tied up.
Unforgivable. That bastard. How dare he touches my daughter? After I let him off so easy last time. If that's how he wants it, I won't forgive him. He'll regret this.
Just as my mother's anger was boiling over, several black cars pulled up. It was immediately obvious they belonged to my father's group, the Johnson Gang. As my father, executives, and members stepped out of the cars, my mother rushed to show him the message she just received. Seeing it, my father's face turned demonic with rage. Inside the shack, the man was laughing while lighting up a cigarette.
Too easy. I never thought it'd be this simple. With this, $300,000 is mine. To think that guy was so scared. What's there to be afraid of? Kidnap the girl, get the money, then skip town. Once I'm out of their reach, I win. Your mother is just a woman, after all. She can't and won't be able to do anything. Besides, your mother probably doesn't even care. That's how parents are, no matter what happens to their kids.
I wanted to argue that wasn't true, but my mouth was gagged with a towel. All it did was absorb drool. I couldn't speak. Surely, my parents are searching desperately by now. If only I could let them know where I was, everything would be resolved. Frustrated by my inability to communicate, I was trying to think of what to do when suddenly, the door flew open. Given the shack's condition, I thought it might have been the wind, but to my surprise, my parents were standing in the entrance. Seeing me tied up, my father's anger seemed to skyrocket in an instant.
You bastard, daring to lay hands on my daughter. Don't think you'll get away with this. Johnson? Why?
Yeah, Johnson. I came as soon as I heard you took my daughter. Hey, you guys, beat this guy to a pulp. Following his command, the members behind him seized the man. Then, they started beating him with their clubs. Meanwhile, my mom came over to me, removed the towel that had been stuffed in my mouth, and untied the rope.
I'm sorry. It must have been scary.
It's okay. I believed you would come to save me. I was actually scared, but seeing my mother's tearful face, I couldn't say that. The man, being beaten up badly, was groaning in pain, but nobody stopped hitting him. After a while, my dad finally stopped the beating, and by then, the man's face was swollen like a balloon.
What should we do with this guy?
My dad asked my mom.
He kidnapped Emily. We can't forgive that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Should we dump him in the ocean?
Just dumping him isn't enough. He tried to lay his hands on my Emily.
It was clear that neither my mother or father saw the man as a human being anymore. Thinking the worst was about to happen, I said, he's suffering too. Please, let him go.
Emily, it's not just him who's suffering. What if something had happened to you?
I know how worried you and Dad were. But even a life as small as a dust mite is still a life, right? He did something bad, but he's still alive. Condemn the crime rather than the criminal.
That's true, but
my mother looked at my father, who frowned, looking troubled. They probably thought I was being too sentimental. I'm fine. Nothing happened to me. In fact, while waiting for my parents to come and rescue me, I had talked a lot with this man. Why he hated his parents so much, how he came up with such a crime, and so on. In the process, I might have developed some sympathy for him. So please, Dad, Mom.
But Emily, life is full of hardships. If you commit crimes every time, what do you think will happen?
I know, but at least spare his life.
Even after what I've done, you'd help me?
It's just sad, you know.
I see. Sorry. I'm really sorry for causing you trouble.
The man was moved to tears. Seeing this, my father said,
All right, but to ensure he can't pull any stunts on my daughter again, we'll send him abroad. What? Abroad?
Awesome. A trip abroad, that's great.
No, Emily. Words don't get through. It's different abroad. Please, boss, I won't ever approach her again. She cares a lot about me. I promise. I won't do it again.
The gangster pleaded desperately, but my dad laughed and said,
Don't worry. You don't need language if you've got a body.
The man's face went pale.
Wait. You don't mean?
While clutching his backside, I wondered, but then my dad said,
You know, some countries have landmines, and the rich worry about where to step. They use people as mine detectors. Good luck.
If that's the case, risking his backside might be the lesser evil.
Boss, please. I don't want to be a mine detector. You think you can just walk away after kidnapping my precious daughter, saying you don't want this or that? Be grateful that you are sparing your life. Please, boss.
No matter how much he cried or pleaded, the man was taken away. Later, I asked my mom if my father really sent him abroad.
If your dad said so, then yes.
Hearing that, I couldn't help but feel sorry for the man.
Why? He tried to do terrible things to you.
But I heard why he hates his mom. It was quite a story. His mother had 7 kids, each with a different father. Every time a man came to their house, the children were sent outside, no matter how cold or hot it was. These men, in their mother's absence, even preyed on his sisters. When his mother found out, she furiously blamed the sisters, calling them thieves. As a result, his sisters left home as soon as they graduated middle school. Now, they're all married and living peacefully. His brothers, who also hate their mother, left home after middle school, took jobs, and are said to be living earnestly. Only he became a gangster, out of defiance towards his mother. After graduating from middle school, he went on to high school, but it turned out to be a handout for delinquents, and predictably, he also ended up going down the path of delinquency. Unlike his siblings who left home harboring resentment towards their mother, he continued to live at home while still harboring bitterness towards her. He continued to cause trouble for his mother. However, as soon as he graduated from high school, his mother left him and moved out of the house.
That means he was the one who cherished his mother the most, doesn't it?
Is that so? Wasn't he the one who hated her the most?
I think he was probably the biggest mama's boy of them all. That's why he stayed by his mother's side for so long. He probably caused many troubles just to get her attention. But there are plenty of people like that. So, being told such things, it's just seen as being overly dependent.
After saying this, my mom made a slightly sad face. Learning about my mother's own background afterward, I was shocked, because she had a similar upbringing. That's precisely why she was so determined to protect me, her daughter, from experiencing any hardship. Being born as the child of such a mother, I couldn't help but feel grateful.